What's up YouTube, it's Fred here, and I'm going to do my Guardians deck profile. Here's a second attempt and hopefully I don't mess up as much. So jumping into it, here's my buddy. This is the buddy because you can use its skill when it's called and then get buddy gift. So its effect is when you gain life with the top card of your deck into your gauge, and if you have a Gate of Pardon Forgiven or 3 or less cards in your drop zone, you draw a card, and the ability only activates once per turn. So this card also, like I said, works on Buddy Gift, but you can like use the Heaven Shield to gain a life, nullify attack, get a charge and draw, which is really strong. It may be a once per turn, but that does help, and that one extra card engage could come in handy. Plus, with the new set spell, you can also trigger it on your turn twice, thanks to the fact that you can bounce it if it manages to stay on your board. If not, you can just recall it with your gate. So yeah, moving on to the main deck, we're playing one copy of it because it's tutorable. So usually a good card going first, just to help you get a free charge and draw on top of your already charge and draw. And it's just a really solid card overall, and like if you have the Heaven Shield, then you can get another charge and draw, like I said earlier. Really solid card. I understand why Japan really likes using it. And then we're playing one copy of the Hellren Dragon. So there's going to be a lot of one-ofs in this deck because things are very tutorable thanks to your Gate of Pardon. So you don't necessarily need more than one copy. So we're playing this. Really good card, dead in some matchups, but essentially it gets you life and burn damage, which is really cool. He may be a little weak in defense, but you can protect him if they decide to attack into him with the new set spell. Really cool card, really good card. Moving on, one giant Tong Key, good for going second in a different sense. Like if they don't have a board, Hellren doesn't do as much because, I mean, you can still chip away at them with effect damage and stuff, but you're not like getting extra value out of it. So with the Tong Key, you can get gauge and small amounts of life depending on whether or not you have the fishing rod on him or not. But yeah, because he hits for bigger burst damage, like actual crit damage, as opposed to Hellren, who does effect damage. It can matter in some matchups that have damage reduction in that sense from effects, like knights and stuff. Then I'm playing one copy of the Glitter Dragon. I'm just going with that because I can't pronounce it. It's a really defensive card. It's there to stop really aggressive decks, or if you just need to stall, because it has move Soul Guard and it gets one stall on call. And it has double attack if you have 3 or less cards in your drop zone, but also, more importantly, it's counter during either player's turn. You can send one card from your drop zone to the bottom of your deck, and you can minus 2,000, 2,000, and 1 crit from all their cards. So it helps you against like Source and kind of stuff, which is really cool. It's basically like your Loud Voice, but worse because you can't use it more than once. And we're playing one of the Gate Searcher. It's tutorable, like I said. Like off your Heaven Sunshine or something. You probably play this over the other one because it's a bigger body, essentially, and if you're gonna call it, you are most likely searching your gate anyway, so the 1 gauge cost doesn't matter that much. Then we're playing 3 copies of Gardus. The cat combo is nice with Tong Key and Hellren, because it's gonna proc their skills, and it has double attack, which means it's 2 procs for their skills with just that one card itself. And it's nice because it's decent power with 5,000, so you can kind of use it to hit things that are a little small, plus the double attack really helps. And it's only a 1 crit, so you might as well be swinging at monsters if possible. And then playing 1 copy of Angelus. This is there just because it's a potential draw card for when you really need it, if you're really trying to dig for something. Plus Now you don't have to worry about your monsters being just left on the field and you can't use your gates effect, thanks to the new set spell, which bounces stuff at the start of your turn. So you can potentially use this card a lot more, but again it's a 1/0 because there's a lot better cards you could be running. Then we're playing 2 angel frills. This is a nice card because you can hit soul, so like you can hit the crystal crescent greaves or maybe even the Thoras depending on what their setup is or what kind of cards. Even like hitting Satsuki's soul is kind of nice. Stuff like that. Plus, the important thing is it's a size 1 with move. That can also proc your buddy's skill because if you have a 5 or less drop zone when it attacks, you can gain a life. The move is relevant because again, the set spell is just amazing, the new one. And you can use it in your center and then you can use your set spell to protect it. So you can make it harder for them to get to your life unless they have penetrate. Then I'm playing 1 monochrome dragon. This is for anti-destruction if you know they can either blow up stuff on your turn, and it's actually going to be like a problem if you don't like have a soul guard card, or like your buddy is no soul guards, so if you want to make sure it doesn't die on your turn, then you play this. And also like against decks like Thunder Empire where they play Roaring Blast, it's protection from that, so they can't use it and it becomes a dead card on their turn. And then I'm playing 4 copies of arghya. She's basically a boomerang dragon, but her ability only works on link attack. And she has another link attack, which is a named ability, but is not a once per turn named ability. So you can, if you give her double attack, you can proc it twice, which happens sometimes because your buddy has double attack already. So there's no point in giving a card double attack twice. Plus, if you have Guardius on your side, then you already have 2 cards of double attack, and then it's just like awkward. But at least this way you could link attack with Guardius and arghya, and then you can proc her skill twice, which is really cool. It gains you 2 life, procs your buddy, and it also can send cards from either player's drop zone to the bottom of their deck. So like against Thunder Empire, you can hit key combo pieces, or just like decks in general that you know that they play out of their drop zone. You can hit key cards that way. Or you can just send back your own cards if your drop zone is looking a little too big for your taste. Then the last monster playing is the Impact Monster. Nice card because its potential to burn them for 3 is really nice. And you can keep it on your board easier thanks to the new set spell. And then you could, cheese and give your weapon or use a fishing rod to give a double attack on your turn, and do stuff like that. And it's the target potentially for your Heaven Sunshine if they have size 3s. Moving on to spells, we're playing 3 of the Gate of Pardon Forgivens. Really good card, the standard card you have to run in this deck. Tutors out your Guardians and sends cards back to your drop zone, or from drop zone back to deck. And 4 Haven's Gifts, mandatory as well. Searches any of your Guardian set spells or items, and can also shuffle back your drop zone to get you a gauge and draw, which is nice. And we're playing 4 copies of the new set spell, really amazing card. You can set more than 1, which is really nice. So at the start of your turn, you can gain a life and choose up to 2 monsters on your field and return them to your hand. And the neat thing about that is if you have your buddy on the field, and you have 2 of these, you use that effect, the first one, you gain your life, so then you choose not to bounce this, you charge and draw, you get your effect, and then you use the second one to gain a life, bounce this, and you can recall it during that turn and you can proc it again because it's not a named ability. Really, really nice. And yeah, gaining a life at the start of every turn is actually really cool too. If you see multiples, it's actually really good. You're in a really good spot if you do. Also, it's got the second effect, which is a counter. You can put 1 Guardian's card from your drop zone to the bottom of your deck, and if a card on your field would be destroyed, it remains on the field. You can only use this ability once per turn, but if you have multiples, then you can use it more than once, and it gets pretty ridiculous protection there. It's really nice though. Then we're playing 3 Scry Dragon Divinities. It's your draw a card, basically. I feel like it's mandatory because you want more ways to draw cards in this deck. And it can also send cards back to your deck without using your gate and stuff. Then we're playing 4 Heaven Shields because we play this open center. We usually call our buddy or like the Hellrens and stuff to the side, and we use arghya in the middle because it's our boomerang dragon. So we can make sure we make use of our best shield in the deck. Gaining life is really important for either triggering your buddy or just making that difference in life for trying to survive those aggro deck OTKs, especially if you have multiple copies. Then we're playing 4 Glacius Defense Walls. It's our secondary shield, but can be casted if we have a center. So cast cost, pay 1 life, and then if we have fiberless drop zone, we can get a gauge, which is really nice going second. Since we're probably going to take the damage anyway, but this way it gets us another gauge, and if we need to set up a drop zone to turn 1 for our turn 1, Sky Dragon Divinities, then it's another card that helps you use it without negging yourself and gives you that extra gauge to do more things during your turn. And then we're playing 2 Dragon Sky Regressions. This is for those like matchups like Thunder Empire, hoping they don't have their Sandcastle because that card is really good. Prevents their stuff from being bounced, and then bots has destruction immunity, so really hard to deal with. But if they don't have it, then you have this, and it helps get rid of the bots. But also, if not, it can give you the 1 life if you have no drop zone when you cast it, so you can also trigger your buddy that way, so it's kind of really nice in that sense. And if anything, you can side it out. Then we're playing 2 Spider Thread Arts. It's there for like swords or any deck that plays a lot of set spells, like a Thora, which can become problems for you, so it makes those matchups a little easier. And again, like hitting weapons just in general is a nice thing. You just gotta pay attention to that soul guard. Sometimes I wish it was destruction though, because like I wish I could hit the flat castle, but I can't, which is really awkward. But yeah. Lastly, 2 Heaven Sunshines for our spells. This helps us tutor out monsters as long as we successfully destroy them. And then we call out whatever size they were. So again, it's just a nice tutor card. It's great going second. Really awkward going first. It's basically a dead card. And then moving on to our weapons, we're playing 2 Neo Buddy Swords. This helps proc our buddy's skill, which is why it's in there. You gain 2 life when your buddy monster attacks. So when it attacks, you can proc its skill if you don't have arghya or something to proc it during your turn. Plus just the 2 life really helps, especially over multiple turns. Then we're playing 2 Fabulous Rods. Gets you a double attack on a card. Really good synergy with Tong Key and Hellren. And you can always call over it and equip a new weapon, so you can actually attack with your weapon if you're going to be a little more aggro on that turn. Then we're playing 1 of the Sky Pillar weapon. It's there because it's a way to get more gauge if you need it, and it can become a 2 crit weapon. It's just a pretty solid card. Doesn't even have an equip cost, which is really nice because on your first turn or first turns, gauge can be a problem since you only start with 1. So it does help you out in that sense, whereas both of these weapons cost you a gauge, so you just gotta be very mindful about your gauge in this deck early game if you don't have any of the gauge accelerator cards. And then moving on to our side deck, here's the 3rd copy of Heaven Sunshine. Really good going second. It's a pretty solid card overall, and then plus you can call your size 3 Dragon World cards that aren't Guardians, which is really nice, or just your side deck, yeah, like Tenbu more specifically, because it's not a Guardian, but you can play it because it's an Omnilord. And then playing 2 more copies of the Dragon Sky Regression just so we can see it in the matchups we need it, or if not, it just stay in the side deck. And then 1 more glitter for those aggro matchups. It gives us 1 more chance to draw it, and one less chance to see them all go into the gauge. So that's why we have 2, and then one more spider thread art for the matches where we really need it and we really want to see it, because you know this deck doesn't deck thin, so it's pretty important to note in that sense. We're playing 2 more shields in the side deck for like swords, because we know we're siding out cards against them, like our Dragon Sky regressions and stuff. Really easy 1-for-1 sides there. And the matchups where like some of those cards are like Heaven's Sunshine are just dead because you can't destroy their monsters or whatever. Stuff like that. And then we're playing 1 8-er. It's basically another Dragon Sky regression. In a sense of a monster though. Which is kind of neat. It's basically there for extra bounce protection in that sense. And it has a move, which is kind of nice. And then we're playing 1 of this Tenbu. This is for a Prism Dragon matchup. If they have like a size 3 on their side, you can Heaven Sunshine into the Tenbu. Unless it's a non-Author in the center, but usually it is. But yeah, so you can use him if they don't have the weapon equipped, or if you got rid of the weapon through various means. Then you can nullify the monster's abilities and pop it. So you're basically an instant dead Authora unless they have the one Authora that they have to counter into. And then this last card is basically going to be the new Tenbu, so it's another option. It has double attack, which is really nice, plus it can blow up the opponent's monster's board the turn it's called, or when it's called, and when you take damage. So really cool card. And that should be the entire deck. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, let me know in the questions down below, and I'll see you guys later.